What is up, bros? Me, Josh here. In today's video, we're going to go over some more premium ships. If you guys missed my last video, I went over the top 5 most overpowered premium ships in World of Warships. I'll put a link down below if you haven't checked that out. This video is going to be on the top 5 worst, I'm going to say worst, not worth, underpowered premiums in World of Warships. Now, keep in mind, when I am going over these ships, the ships you can have really good games in. I know I've had some good games in these ships, but I feel like what these ships bring and what you end up paying for, it's just not worth it. There are a couple ships that are actually really good ships, but what you are paying for, just in my opinion, isn't worth it. So it's definitely in the top 5. So the top 5, either most underpowered and or not worth premium ships in World of Warships. At number 5, we have the Izuzuchi. Now, this thing has been in the game for a long time now, a tier 4 IGN battleship, and it's recently just got a little bit of a buff with its range, which was its worst part, and I would have had it higher on this list, but since its recent buff, it's been a few months now, to the range, it has become more competitive, but still, I feel like this is one of the worst ships for tier 4. Its AP is still very, very underwhelming. It's kind of been known to be, if you are playing it, to be an HE flinging ship. I feel like the ships that you have at this, especially premium wise with the Nikolai, Arkansas Beta, if you had it then, I mean, even some of the ships in the tree, of course it's better than the Miyogi. I feel like this ship just isn't really that good. I don't really enjoy the ship that much. It's very kind of fragile, and honestly, it has its speed and it does have some decent HE. Not saying you can't have a good game in this thing, but overall, I just don't think the ship is worth it. Luckily, it is a tier 4 ship, so it's not super expensive. But all in all, I think this ship is a pretty easy pass, even at tier 4. If you want an IGN battleship trainer, even though it's going to be more expensive, the key is definitely there. But all in all, this ship is a hard pass for me. Not really that fun to play, especially at tier 4. I think there are much better choices. So the Izuzuchi locks up its place at number 5. Now at number 4, this is the perfect example of a good ship in general or overall, but it's just not worth it. And what I mean by that is the Prince Eugen. The Prince Eugen is a good ship. It's a good ship for the same reason, because the Admiral Hipper is a good ship. If you've ever played the German cruiser line, the Admiral Hipper is the tier 8, and the Prince Eugen is almost a copy pasta version of that ship. It's just a premium ship. When this ship first came out, I was like, what's different? There's nothing really different. A little bit of a turning radius, a little bit of a range. Honestly, it's almost the exact same ship as a ship you can get into this game for free. So that is the biggest reason why this ship is on my list. The Prince Eugen can do a lot of damage. It's 203 German 203s, has good AA. It's overall, I mean, but really, if you were going to pick up this ship, you either need to love the Admiral Hipper, 2, you need to be a history buff, something like that. But paying $40 for a ship that is honestly already in the game, I just don't think that is worth it. At tier 8, it's pretty expensive. Throwing $40 at a ship you can already get. So that's why it's at number 4 on my list, the Prince Eugen. At number 3, we have the Indianapolis, another very historical ship. There's a big story behind this ship, but with the recent buff to this, it just got, it's one of 3 cruisers at tier 7 that have radar. This one has the actual longest range radar, now at a buff 9.9 kilometers. But still, you're basically looking at playing a Pensacola. Again, you can have some good games with this ship. It's a USN cruiser with big 203s, so you're going to be doing big HE damage, monster AP damage in this ship. And there is some bow tanking ability to this, but tier 7 is a very competitive tier. You're going against Belfast, you're going against the Shores, you're going against all this kind of stuff. And if you've ever played, it's basically a Pensacola with radar. And I think I'd honestly rather play the Pensacola over this. I just don't like the Indianapolis. It's easier to Citadel if you can see the side walls on this ship. They're absolutely massive. And all in all, makes this ship to be pretty mediocre for a tier 7 price tag. I just don't think it's worth it. I think for what you're getting in this ship, it's basically just a Pensacola with radar. If you're looking for something different in this line, I think the Atlanta is a bit more fun and unique than this ship. Honestly, just don't like this ship really at all. Even though the buffs have been kind of nice to it, I feel still not worth picking up. You get this ship from a crate or something like that, then it's definitely amazing and worth checking out, and it can be a good trainer. But still, I think this ship's a pretty easy pass at tier 7. There's a lot of other ships. I mean, if you want a tier 7 cruiser with radar, just pick up the Belfast. What are we talking about? So I think the Indianapolis at number 3 is a solid place for this. Pretty easy pass for me in general. At number 2, we have the Marblehead. Now, if you were lucky enough to get this ship for free, there was a whole event to get this ship for free. You had to basically spell it out with ships starting with whatever, blah, 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 blah. So you could actually have gotten the ship for free. Then it was definitely worth it. Paying for this ship, not so much. At tier 5, you're going against the Mermans, which is the king of tier 5 cruiser. And honestly, a lot of battleships, this is honestly a worst Omaha. It's a worse Omaha. So it not only is it a ship just like a ship in the tree, has a bit longer range torps. The torps are super slow. If you're looking at this and a Mermats for the almost the exact same price, there's no reason to not pick the Mermats. It's just a better ship overall. You're going to be doing more damage, more HE, more fires, more everything, and really just a better ship in general. The Marblehead, I don't think is that good of a ship at this tier, and honestly, there are just better options to pick up. So at number 2, I have the Marblehead. Easy pass. If you got it for free, congratulations. I haven't played this ship since I think I even have it for free. Had it for over, I don't know, over a year, and I think I played like 7 games in it. So easy pass in this ship. If you want a tier 5 cruiser to pick up, definitely pick up the Mermans. Get so much better, and you'll have so much more fun in it. And at number 1, we have the Dukkha d'Aosta. Now, some people might not agree with me on this, but I think this is easily the worst premium ship in World of Warships, and there are a few reasons why. This ship has amazing AP, super low trajectory. You're going to absolutely punish cruisers, punish everything, punish destroyers, punish battleships with this. But this is a game right now that is focused all around HE, and the HE on the ship is pretty poor. One of the lowest HE chances, and by far, I think it barely beats the Leander at tier 6 for range. Now, bad range, bad HE means overall a bad cruiser. The Dukkha has great torps, the longest torps at any tier 6 ship, but still, doesn't have anything really to set it apart. It's not going to do anything better than a Budjani, nothing better than a Cleveland. I think it even loses most fights against an Alba. If you're running spotter plane, you can have some decent range, but still, bad range, bad bad HE, bad everything. Yes, the AB can do great. If you're shooting on something that's stuck broadside, you're going to absolutely punish the hell out of this thing, but so will every other cruiser at this tier. So, honestly, the Dukkha, the only good thing I believe it has going for it is an Italian training ship. So, since the Italian ship only has this, and potentially the new Tier 5 battleship upcoming, at this tier, honestly, I think the Molotov is more fun. The only good thing that this ship has going for it is it was the first Italian ship to hit World Warships. Maybe if you want to pick it up for that. This thing is such an easy pass. It doesn't do anything better than anything at this tier. I really dislike this ship. I don't get why people like this ship. Honestly, it's just my opinion, but still, I think the Dukkha is a very easy pass. Not worth picking up until maybe they announce an Italian line of cruisers. Then maybe if it's cheap. Other than that, easy pass, guys, and Dukkha at number 1, I think is a pretty easy choice. Now, a couple honorable mentions I have on this list, and one is the Krasny Krem. Now, this is a ship I actually enjoy playing. It plays very much like a Tier 5 Atlanta, lots and lots of guns, pretty high arc, and you can kind of post up if you've ever played in Atlanta and kind of hail fire down on enemy ships. I actually find this ship pretty fun, and I actually kind of like playing it, but it's kind of playing it for kind of the troll effect of this ship. This is a ship that if played right, I think it has a very high skill gap. If played right, it can be pretty strong, but if played wrong, it's pretty brutal. A bunch of guns are going to make a lot of people kind of show the broadside a bit more, and then at this tier with the battleships, you're playing at tier 5 and 6, and even cruisers, you're just going to absolutely get shredded. The Krasny Krem, although kind of laughably fun to play, I think overall isn't crazy good. It's basically a tier 4 ship in a tier 5 matchmaker, but still, it's all about how you play, and I think the skill gap is going to be a little high on this ship. You got to be very, very patient at low tier, and that's what a lot of people don't want to play. If you want a tier 5 trainer for cruisers, there's no reason to not pick up the Mermans, especially in the Russian ships. So this thing doesn't beat a Mermans, so there's no real reason to pick it up. But if you want to kind of, I guess, lull fun, it's kind of good to grab. And luckily at tier 5, it's not crazy expensive, but still. Krasny Krem, I think, gets an honorable mention. Definitely not in the top 5, but kind of fun to talk about. And the last honorable mention is going to be the Dunkirk. Now, this ship has a kind of a fun place in my heart. I like playing this ship because it's so different. It has a very, I don't know, special kind of play style. It has a badass camo, and it's one that's like, I like ships that play different, and the Dunkirk has that play style. But overall, this is by far the worst tier 6 battleship, and I don't think it's even close. I know some people don't like the Mutsu, but I think the Mutsu still smashes this thing. You play kind of that bow in game with this ship. It does have decent AP, but really this thing kind of shines as like an HE flinging battleship. And for me, that's just not my playstyle. You can't like brawl with this ship. You can't really do anything with this ship. And if you do lose a gun, one gun, you're down to 50% of your firepower. So it has kind of an interesting playstyle, which I do like. But overall, this thing isn't going to be competitive against most of the other ships. At tier 6, you're going against Arizona's, Matsu's, Futso's, New Mexico's, all kind. I mean, tier 6 is a stacked tier, probably the most stacked tier in all of World of Warships for not only premiums but just battleships in general. And the Dunkirk just isn't competitive in the long run with it. So I think Dunkirk definitely does. It's not a top 5, but it does get an honorable mention. Overall, I find it unique to play, but still, you're going to be kind of going in an uphill battle with this ship. One nice thing is a French trainer, so I guess maybe if you want to pick it up for that reason, but still, Dunkirk I think is an easy pass. Although unique, I don't think it's any crazy good of a ship. So that has been my list, guys. Just keep in mind that these ships, I'm not saying that you can't have good games in these. And there's a couple variables I'm taking into account with these ships. Is it's one, is the ship worth it? I'm thinking about price tags for what you get, just like the Prince Eugen. 2, is it competitive for the tier? And 3, are you getting something playstyle wise that's going to give you kind of an advantage or something unique or different? So those are kind of the main variables I'm keeping on this. Let me know in the comments below if you guys like these ships. Like I said, I like playing the Krasny Kram. The Dunkirk I find interesting to play. It's not like that I hate these ships. I just don't want people to go out and waste money on ships that aren't really that good when there are better options out there that'll make you a bit more successful. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what ships that you guys think should have been on this list, and if you agree with my list. Other than that, guys, remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.